Hi everyone, this is Puneet Sandhu, aka the Tank, and today we are going to talk about everything one needs to know about leg press. And I truly believe that leg press is the most wrongly done exercise in the gym. This is a very good piece of equipment, but for some reason, it is absolutely that machine which a lot of people use it for ego lifting, and they do not target the muscle it is supposed to be targeting whilst you are using a leg press. And also a lot of people are not aware where to place your feet, how to actually get the most out of it, how to make sure that you do not do a butt wink, and how you can go deep, how you can actually use the quads in the most optimal way. So we're going to talk about everything. Let's start. Number one thing, I'm going to explain where exactly to place your feet. And even before that, one must know that leg press is something of a hack squat only. Just the way, if you have not seen my hack squat video, you must do it. I will staunchly advise you to do that. So leg press is just a kind of a hack squat movement, but in this case, you are kind of laying down. And there is less of an axial weight, axial load on your spine in a leg press. So leg press is one of the good exercises, I must say, to optimally target your quadricep muscles. So if you are not able to do everything one needs to do to target the quads, I think that you are not using the leg press in the proper way. So first and foremost, the one thing people do it wrongly is that they place their feet very wrongly. This is my friend Gurpreet here, one of our good coaches we have in the Phase 5 branch of Tank's Gym. Gurpreet, तुसी please लगा के दिखाओ पैर लोकी के में गलत रख देने. So this is how I see a lot of people. They place their feet right at the top of the platform, which एक बारी आप करके दिखाना. गुरप्रीत को नीचे लेके आओ. आप प्लीज साइड से दिखाना, बिल्कुल स्लो. So see, if you place the feet too high, when he goes down, he lifts his butt. His butt is getting lifted. So there is a butt wink, and which is actually not good for his lumbar spine, the lower spine. So this is not a very good idea to place your, and also by keeping the feet so up on the platform, you can see there is very less of knee flexion. So knee flexion is the angle between your knee. So the more the acute the angle is, the more acute the angle, the more it will place brunt on your quads. For your quads to get targeted, you need to be on a most acute of knee flexion. So अगर आप इतना ऊपर रखोगे, आपका knee flexion बहुत कम आएगा. Can you just rack it? So one way of correcting it is your feet should not be placed very high on the platform. This is wrong on two grounds. One, there is less of knee flexion happening, which in place is placing less brunt on your quads. And number two, it is also make you do a butt wink. आपका जो hips है वो platform से उठ रहे हैं, which again is not very healthy. Over the time, you can definitely get your lower back hurt, which is absolutely a very sad thing on a leg press to happen. So इसको हम कैसे correct करेंगे? One way of correcting is that we need to place the feet very low on the platform. आप low लगा के दिखाना. Now you bring it down. और लोग अगर कर सकते हो तो चलो बिल्कुल deep जाना. Go deep, 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 deep. Now you see how much more of a knee flexion we have achieved, which in turn is placing more brunt on his quadricep muscles. And this is what we are trying to target, the quads. The leg press is all quads, right? Can you just... Now the thing is, you will ask how low is low enough, or how far low you should go on this platform to place your feet. So I would suggest you should go as much deep as you can, depending upon the mobility of your ankle, of course. But it should not be that much deep कि आपका जो heel है, it starts getting raised and the only driving force is through your, your toes. This again is not a very good idea. It kind of becomes a CC squat, which we are not trying to do it over here because this will limit your driving force. आप इतना weight नहीं उठा पाओगे. You won't be able to push so much of a weight if your heels are getting raised, and that in turn again can put you in a situation that you can hurt yourself. So now Gurpreet has placed his feet quite low on the platform. Ab niche aao. Just bring it down. Go deep, 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 deep. See now because now this is way too much deep on the platform, which actually is making his heel getting raised. So when he's gonna drive it, drive through his quads, he's definitely gonna be less efficient doing it because he's not able to drive it through his heels, through his entire feet actually. It's only the toe area which is getting, which is the driving force, which actually is not a good thing. He could have placed more plates and that would have given him more volume, more room for muscle development. So आपने उतना नीचे जाना है जितना आपकी heels raise नहीं हो रही है, and you are still kind of able to drive through your entire feet. So this is how high and low it should be. High, definitely not a good idea because of the butt wing. Again, I am repeating, and also because you are not able to achieve that much of a depth. Now that we are very clear where exactly to place the feet, I'll explain you where exactly to place your, the back support. So a lot of people I have seen, they keep their back support like too much on the high. It is kind of more inclined. I would rather have it. So the more the incline it is, the less of a ROM you are able to achieve. आपकी range of motion कम हो रही है, which actually I don't even need to tell you. The more the range of motion, the better it is for any kind of a movement. So for us to have more range of motion, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that his back support is absolutely as deep as it can be. Let me just show you. Gurpreet, आप एक बार उठोगे please? So there is an adjustment here. What we're gonna do is I have just made him lay more down. Gurpreet, आओ please. Now you can see we have this much more range of motion happening, which in turn is again very good for your quad development. So one thing, we are able to drive through the entire feet. We have achieved more knee flexion by keeping the feet down. We have increased the range of motion by pushing the back support even more down. Now can you just show us? Pura deep. See, now you can see his knees are getting so much of a flexion. Also his range of motion is increased way so much more. Of course, that is a kind of a recipe to make your muscles grow. Can you just rack it? Rack kar do. Now, I have seen a lot of people say that the narrower the feet are placed, the more it is for your quads, which actually is not so. I will explain you why. So if your feet is very near, between themselves, can you just do a rep? एक rep लगा के दिखाओ. So what exactly is happening is, now when he goes down, see his knees, he could have gone more, he could have achieved more range of motion, but because his knees are placed so much near, his gut is coming into, in his path, and he is not able to go so much more depth. And depth is the key, because once you achieve depth, of course, you kind of go more in a lengthened position, and we all know that the more the muscle goes in the lengthened position, the more we achieve the stretch. We overload at the stretch position. That is where the hypertrophy chances are the maximum. So that is the most hypertrophic zone. But just because his feet is placed like way too much near, and उससे होता क्या है, जब ये नीचे जाता है इसका पेट, इसकी छाती लग जाती है and he is not able to go that much deep. So we can fix it just by placing his feet a little wider. भी थोड़ा बाहर रखोगे so now it just depends upon how comfortable you are. जितने आपकी छाती चौड़ी है, just make sure that your feet are placed, a little outside of your chest and all the area of your gut, your chest, your shoulders, so that you can achieve more depth and your body is right in between your legs. अब आप वो करके दिखाओ depth. Go deep. Leo. See, now he's so easily able to achieve the depth and there is nothing coming in his way, and this is the best way. So now his quads are getting even more hammered rather than keeping the feet very near. So feet placement has got very less to do with your targeting your quads. It's all about more of a knee flexion. The more the knee flexion there is, the more ROM there is. So you just need to be very sure मैं कैसी position में maximum knee flexion ले सकता हूँ and maximum ROM ले सकता हूँ. If these two things are getting achieved, of course your quads are getting more hammered. Also, a very common mistake people do. There was a video which went very viral. A female there was, and she was kind of training a leg press, and she kind of hyperextended her knees. When she went to the lockout position, she kind of hyperextended her knee and kind of broke her. It was very gnarly, kind of a very nasty video. So I'll just let you know how to exactly do the lockout. गुरप्रीत इनू जो आप खत्म कर दें लॉकआउट करके दिखाओ कि मैं लोग गलत कर रहे होंगे ने बिकॉज आपका बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है लोगों को देखते हो रोज. हाँ, now when you do this kind of a movement, when you are in almost at the end of your concentric movement, you are not supposed to do it in a very jerking kind of a way, and kind of you are trying to achieve as if you are trying to achieve a hyperextension of the knee. तो आप ऐसे गोडे को अपने तोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. So every human joint, I would say, is absolutely good enough to sustain any kind of a load in a lockout. So lockout is not wrong, but you kind of do it in a very a little slow fashion. जब आप बहुत heavy उठा रहे हो and you are going, of course, when you go very near to the lockout, you kind of a little slow down and very gently you do your lockout. But lockout is very important. I'm not against lockout. Lockout बड़ा ज़रूरी है because this is the one position that your quads are not taking the brunt. So it is a kind of a rest position. मैं आगे वीडियो में I'll explain you how I use the lockouts to actually prolong my set. So what I do is I do 10 sets of brutal and then I run out of gas, and एक तो cardio भी मेरा you run out of gas also, and there is so much of lactic acid being built on the quads. If you're doing it a proper knee flexion, you kind of 3-4 breaths you can take in a lockout, and then you kind of push more 5 reps. Then again you take a breather, you can push more 5 reps. It's a very good way. But the thing is, you're not supposed to really kind of trying to achieve a hyperextension and do it very fiercely and very forcibly. अब आप करके दिखाओ जैसे आपको करना चाहिए. So this is the way you should be doing. A little slow, right at the fag end of your concentric motion. थोड़ा slow हो जाया करो. Yeah, push fast and now a little slow. And there is a little kind of a bend in your knee. And this is the correct way of achieving and you might not even have a bend. You can just completely do a lockout. As I said, all human joints, we are absolutely designed to sustain any kind of a load in a lockout position. So this is the correct way to do it. So now the thing is, I also see a lot of people, when they achieve the depth, they achieve the knee flexion, they achieve the ROM, everything is good to go. ये भी नीचे placed है, the feet are kind of placed very deep and deep enough that they are achieving the knee flexion and not deep enough that they are getting their heels elated. So this is the correct way. But one thing is happening, which is, आप करके दिखाओ गुरप्रीत. So just look here, depth जाओ. When he goes very deep, his butt is actually, his hips are coming out of the pad. So now there is a lot of the butt wing is happening. So this is not a very good thing, because over the time, if you keep doing it, his lumbar spine can definitely get hurt, which actually is not a good idea. So how to actually fix this issue? I'll just let you know. What one can do is, so to fix this issue that there is a butt wink happening, what we can do is, we can just place something like this. This is just an extra seat of a gym equipment that I have kept. You can also place a little, a lesser thick kind of a thing, a yoga pad or something that you can, and you can just place something right underneath your lumbar spine, the lower spine area. Because if you kind of are doing it, you are actually making sure that no matter how much deep you are going and your butt is getting raised from here, but you still have an extra pad, which is making sure that your lumbar spine, your lower back is absolutely smashed onto the pad, and which is actually very healthy. And you can still achieve the depth, the knee flexion, and whilst you are doing that, your butt is not getting winked, and it is not getting lifted, and there is no chance that you can get injured. Gurpreet, aap karke dikhaoge aap ispe? So as you saw, last time without the seat, the extra thickness, when he went really deep, his butt got winked. Now it is not going to happen. Also, you need to do one more thing. The handles are there for a reason. Whilst you are going deep, make sure that you are kind of pulling yourself so that your butt is absolutely smashed onto the pad, the lower area where it is resting. So this is also a very good idea, and of course with the extra padding, this is absolutely beneficial. Karke dikhao. Go deep. Deep. See, now that he has achieved so much depth, still his butt is resting onto the pad. There is no butt wing, and he can drive absolutely through his quads, and this is absolutely healthy. Now I see a lot of people doing a leg press extremely heavy. I'm sure anybody who is watching anything regarding to lifting, you would know that wherever you are gymming in your area, there must be a few people coming to the gym who do leg presses extremely heavy. So I'm not against it unless you are achieving the the knee flexion and you're going all ROM and the form is correct. It's all right to go heavy leg press if it works for you. But still, I would suggest you that leg press is not one movement you really want to go all guns blazing, really heavy. So if you want to go real heavy, you can go on a squat or hack squat or a pendulum squat or a belt squat, something like that. But on a leg press, I would suggest a rep range maybe between 10 to 25 or 20 is an optimal thing. 4 or 5 reps on a leg press, I don't think it's a very good idea. And anything more than 30 reps is also not a very great idea. You don't want to run out of gas. You don't want to run out of your lungs. The limiting factor should be your quadricep muscle, not your lungs. It's not a cardio that we are trying to do here. We are trying to achieve some hypertrophy on your quads. So anything less than 10, if the weight is like good enough that you can maximum. What I do is I do something like 20 reps. I do 10 reps, and then I take a pause. I lock out, and I kind of take a little pause, 2 to 3 seconds, maybe 3 to 4 big respirations, and then I go 5 more, and then I go 3 more, and I go 2 more, or probably whatever. So 20 reps is what I try to achieve, and in my last set of a leg press exercise, and anything more than that also doesn't make sense, because you don't want limiting factor wasn't your quads. You must watch the video I made on the parameters of choosing a right exercise. So limiting factor was one very important point. If you haven't watched that video, I must advise you must go somewhere here. There should be a link, and you must watch that video, Tank Varsity parameters. And so that's that. I think that's everything one needs to know about leg press. And I would definitely ask you very humbly, Please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on all the bomb knowledge that we keep spreading. Lots of love.